Welcome back children once again to our class 8 biology, and yesterday we learnt about 4 scientists, Anastasia Kircher, Ian Swammerdam and Swamander, and Anthony van Leeuwenhoek and Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke, he discovered cell, and after almost 150 years, Robert Hooke discovered cell in the year 1665 or so, and after almost 150 years, in the year 1831, Robert Brown, he discovered nucleus. Now, let us see. Does it mean that nobody else noticed that there is nucleus in a cell? After Robert Hooke discovered cell, many people observed cells. In that, Felix Fontana and many other scientists also observed a dense structure which is present in a cell. Not only Felix Fontana, there are many other scientists who observed cells. They became curious, they started observing cells. When they observed cells, every one of them noticed that there is a dense structure inside. But only Robert Brown, he clarified that the nucleus is present in almost all the cells. Nucleus is present in almost all the cells in the year 1831. That's why he became prominent. Who discovered nucleus means we cannot say any other name. Even Felix Fontana also we cannot say. We have to say Robert Brown, because he made the generalization saying that every single cell has a nucleus. And how is the nucleus? Nucleus is present in every cell. What are the things that he observed is it is present in every cell, first thing, and second thing is it is an opaque thing present. Opaque. When compared to the remaining organelles, this is opaque, more opaque than the remaining organelles. It is an opaque structure, and he also understood that it helps in cytoplast. It helps during cytoblast. What is cytoblast? Cytoblast means division of cell, dividing cell. When a cell is dividing, we call it a cytoblast, for the division of cell. It helps in division of cell. That also he could give us an understanding about nucleus. And then he also made us to understand that it is prominent, it is important and controls cell activity. It has some structures inside which help the characters to pass on from parent to progeny. That also he could give a hint of, a clue of. So this is the contribution made by Robert Brown in 1831 towards knowing more about cell. Right. Then how do we understand that? If you understood this, I am going to wipe the board. Now, for understanding this, till yesterday we learnt 3 activities. What are those activities? The cells in onion peel. The cells in cheek cells, and cells in the matchstick. That is observing cells. Now, when you observe a leaf, beetle leaf or any rio leaf or anything, you notice, how do you do that again? You have to tear it, and when you tear a leaf, suppose there is a leaf like this, okay, when you tear the leaf suddenly, when you tear the leaf, suddenly like this you tear, then you find a kind of transparent layer here, a kind of transparent layer. Suddenly when you tear the leaf, a transparent layer will be there. You have to cut the transparent layer. That transparent layer you cut and put it on a slide. Put it on a water droplet on the slide like this, and avoid any foldings, and then observe it under a microscope. Then what do you notice? You notice close arrangement of cells like this. And you notice the green colored pigments also, because it looks green anyhow, you'll understand that this is green colored pigment. And then what do you notice? You notice cytoplasm. You notice this cell membrane or cell wall. Actually you don't notice cell membrane, you notice cell wall, because almost cell membrane is attached to cell wall. And then you notice, how did I forget this? We are learning about nucleus and I forgot. Nucleus. You observe nucleus and you observe stomata. These are the things you observe in a leaf. This is activity 4. This is activity 4. What is the purpose of this activity? Is to observe that every single cell has a nucleus. Every single has a dense part inside its cell, and we call it as nucleus. We call it as nucleus. And when you observe, is it present only in the plant cell? No, it is present in the next activity 5. Let us see. Activity 5. Activity 5, you have to take an onion peel. Like previously in the activity 2 also we took onion peel. So here again you take onion peel, do the same thing, tear it and put it on a cover slip and observe it under the microscope. You notice the cells arrangement like that, and this cellular arrangement is not disturbed by any stomata. So what do you see? You see cytoplasm, you see cell wall, and you see a dense part here which we call it as nucleus. That means every cell in the plant has a nucleus. Every cell in the plant or animal also has a nucleus. That means we observed in activity 4 a leaf, and notice that nucleus is there along with cytoplasm, cell wall and stomata. In onion peel, we notice that cell wall is there, cytoplasm is there and nucleus is there. Now in activity 5, activity 6, let us see. Activity 6. Now let us take cheek cells. Cheek cells. Again, what do you notice? The same procedure we have to do. Let me once again tell you what is the procedure. Take a clean spoon and then lift your cheek like this and just scrape like this. I mean not even scrape, just slide the spoon over inside your cheek, and then you get a mucus layer. That mucus layer is enough for you to put on a slide and observe the cheek cells. What do you notice? In that slide, when you notice, because the cells are all separated, you notice like this. You have to put a drop of saffron in for cheek cells as well as this onion peel cells also. Then you notice again here cytoplasm is there, cell membrane is there. Because for plant cells cell wall is there, but in animal cells you don't have cell wall. So cell membrane is there, and then what do you notice? Nucleus is also there. So as per Robert Brown, what did he say? Almost all the cells have nucleus. So with these 3 experiments, experiment number 4 on a leaf, experiment number 5 on an onion peel, and experiment 6 on cheek cells, these 3 give us a conclusion that every cell has a nucleus. But there are differences again. Onion peel does not have stomata. This has stomata, cell wall, cytoplasm, cell membrane, everything. And cheek cells do not have cell wall, and they are clearly nucleus is present. So majorly what is our intention in performing these activities is to observe whether all the cells have cell nucleus or not. All cells have nucleus. This is what we understand in our this present topic. And what else? Let us once see. Here there are few questions what you need to understand. What are the structures present in the cell? Every activity asks some questions. What are the structures which are present in the cell? What are the structures? In our previous lesson we learnt, of course, what are the structures that you know that will be present in a cell? In our previous classes you might have learnt. Nucleus will be there, mitochondria will be there, plant cell means chloroplast will be there, like that you might have learnt. Just try to name a few. And then, did you see any tiny dark strained thing in the cells? In every cell, whether it is leaf or cheek cells or onion peel, a dark thing is present. And then you have to answer them in your textbook, children. I expect you to do that. And then, are they located in the center of both the cells? See, if you notice, let me mention here clearly. If you notice, in plant cells I drew this dense part to the corners like this. In animal cells, almost in the middle or wherever. That means, are they present only in the center? No, they are not present only in the center. In plants they are to the periphery, and for the animals they are to the in the center. What is the difference between boundary of the onion cell and the cheek cell? What do you notice the difference? Here cell wall is there and here cell wall is not there. That is the difference. I want you to write down the answers in your textbook for these questions. Thank you, children.